Alright, I'm re-recording because the audio got messed up in my last one, so sucks to suck, I guess, but Deepwoken, yes, Deepwoken, yes. I'm sure we all know the game. It's debatably like the game with the most potential, with the most poor game design. This is just a rant, so I'm not like. This has no structure, but this is more unstructured than a Race X video, dude. But point is right now the game is kind of in a spiral of, do we want to make the game difficult or do we want to make the game genuinely enjoyable? Feels like we're stuck in a tug of war where the devs want one thing and next week they want something else in the game in terms of game direction. What this causes is, so first PvE builds, yeah. I don't know why they exist. I feel like Deepwoken stopped becoming. I felt like Deepwoken had no skill to it after like PvE builds started to exist because of how brain dead most of these PvE builds are and how often Skipper Gripper makes a video on one of these builds. Essentially, all of them boil down to Gale Breath plus some other attunement plus some random 50 or some multipliers, but that's besides the point. Another thing about Deep is that it's just like progression has become the worst thing ever. These devs really do not know what to do with game direction. They will sit here and tell me with a straight face, look me dead in the eye and tell me, yeah, we want Deepwoken to be casual. Then why did you make the game absolutely miserable to play right before Valve Iron? There's like, genuine. Hold on. Let me just show you Deepwoken's player count. Let's just look at Deepwoken's player count right now. Alright, 10k. Yesterday it was like 6k at like 8 p.m., which is crazy. Now, let us look at Phantom Forces and ABA. I think the numbers speak for themselves. Shindo Life has damn near the same number of players as Deep, and that's. I thought I'd never hear of Shindo Life ever again, but I digress. And another issue with Deep is I feel like we're just headed in the direction where devs, we're just gonna figure out rogue lineage tech. If you don't know what I mean, I was watching a Leg Meat special today, and then I realized it came to me. We're probably gonna start figuring out ways to like make single player servers, or just making glorified private servers in the main game, because Chime of Conflict is a private server. I mean, it's not like I care. There's any skill to Deep, because Deepwoken, in my opinion, has always been more about you learning and shit, and stuff like that. And a lot more of the issue with Deep stems from, like I said earlier, us being in like the middle of a tug of war with the devs. I swear. One dev wants something, other dev wants something else. I don't even know why everyone's slandering Akamatsu as if he's the issue. I mean, it's kinda like a Uzuki situation. All the devs are really lazy, and none of them really care about the game anymore. Like in reference to Dan VR's OG video on why Deep is dying. One of his main points was that during K1's run, it was like really chill. Like you could prog a bill in an hour, and you would be able to play with it in the next hour after you got bell and all that stuff, which is nice, right? And then I don't know who made this idea, but then we decided to make the game difficult again, which is really bad. Like, I'm sorry, but Deepwoken is not a difficult game. It never has been. Like, it's a difficult game at the start because There is no player onboarding. The community is full of like pedophiles and shit, so you're not getting help from them unless you have a friend. And most of Deepwoken's difficulty stems from just if you don't have the wiki open on another monitor, you're just not gonna know how to do stuff. Point blank simple. So that's one thing about Deep. And secondly, like I mean, Deepwoken is a difficult game, but it's not difficult after like you put 4 or 5 hours into it. Like if you have the willpower, if you have the IRL willpower unbounded, that's how it feels to play Deepwoken. It's like fucking, you hear the voice of Yunchul in your ear all day. That's what it feels like to play Deep right now. Progression is horrible. You have a Voidwalker on your day like every 5 seconds, which is insane to me. Like, you're telling me I have to deal with a Voidwalker every 5 seconds, and then we wonder why everyone's in Chima Conflict instead of main game. Maybe it's because the main game is horrible to play right now. I mean, I tried to prog a new build same day as Val Iron because I didn't really care about Valve Iron. I thought it was pretty much just, from what I heard, it was Valve Artificial Difficulty, so I didn't play it. And then, while I'm progging my build, I get Ascend with Phoenix Flames. Anyone who played on the first day knows exactly what I mean by Phoenix Flames. Yeah, that had no cooldown, and so every fight was infinite, and pair this with the fact that you had a Voidwalker on you every 30 or so seconds, led to a bunch of shenanigans happening on the first day of release. Sure, this got patched out, but most people who were progging new builds that day, all of us had like crazy slots or something, or Blood Scourge if you were Voidwalking. If you were Voidwalking, you had Blood Scourge, obviously, and Grass the Green, but that just goes to show how little testing actually went into Valve Iron 1. Like, I'm sorry to NVR, but listen, man, I have, from the community experience, it felt like zero care went into Valve Iron. It felt like zero testing ever existed. Because you're telling me we found more bugs than like the entire bug team in like a day, and you never accounted for that? Like, most of it was main game too. I think it's because they didn't really care about testing main game, so main game was just left to rot, right? Well, they updated Valve Iron, so there were like 50 bugs in it, and yeah, that was the game for like first day release. It got a little bit better after a few days, but Deepwoken was unplayable for like 3 days essentially. The main game, at least. I don't know about Valve Iron. I haven't gone to Valve Iron. Valve Iron's a whole other can of worms. Genuinely, I have beaten all of Elden Ring. I've 100%ed it. I've damn near 100%ed Sekiro. I've beaten Hollow Knight. Almost 100%ed it too. If I didn't get bored of it. Like, I was almost about to do Pantheon 5. And shit like that, so. You know, I don't mind difficult games. Hell, I even like permadeath games. I love games like Balatro and stuff like that. But, Deepwoken, I'm sorry, man, but that's just not fun. It's not fun. The permadeath in Deepwoken isn't fun. A lot of the stuff with Deepwoken, a lot of the mechanics are just really stupid to me. It felt like we made a fully fleshed out game, and then we just slapped on permadeath because we felt like it. That's truly what Deepwoken feels like sometimes. That's how the game feels a whole lot of the time, but that is my rant. All I'm saying is the player count don't lie, and before you tell me player count isn't everything, yeah, I know that, but if you have a lot of players on your game, that usually means it's enjoyable in one way or another. Also, one thing I do want to say about Deep is, yeah, there's really poor like new player onboarding. I tried to get back into the game after a little bit. Felt atrocious, man. It was just, it was bad. It was bad. It was bad. It was really bad. But yeah, that is probably just my opinion on Deep. I hope the game does get better. Re-add Valve Thorns, because my last point about the game is for how quickly you lose character slots, you don't exactly get like a quick progression. Like in Balantra, if I lose a slot, I can get back to where I want to be in like 30 minutes. In Deepwoken, if I lose a power 20 slot, give or take for most people, I'm saying most people because there are people like Zacho, TB, and other content creators who know how to progress a build in like 30 minutes with their fucking like 50 Moon's Eyes and 50 Providence Thorn weapons in their bank, right? Because game's economy is inflated as hell. But yeah, that's my opinion on Deepwoken. Please add Valve Thorns back because progression sucks right now. Goodbye, world.